Hello, crypto people. My name is Joey. I'm part of the Chart Guys team. I've been a full-time trader and technical analyst for 7 years, over 20,000 hours. Here to talk some crypto. Last stream, we had our 3-day lower high set, and the big question was going to be, is this consolidation going to be healthy? Are bulls going to keep a 3-day uptrend in the cards and try to work back towards all-time highs? Or are bears going to take us back to the monthly 12 EMA? And after our daily downtrend saw no follow-through, it has us looking at the former healthy 3-day consolidation, and now we've got a nice clear pattern where bulls can be playing off of, saying this is either it or I'm wrong. So let's go into the charts, take a look at Bitcoin, take a look. Oh, I realized I'm not on my full face cam. We're already at the charts. So here we are looking at the 3-day chart. Let's dig in deeper. So we know the key on this consolidation was to hold the 0.5 retrace, which was 55,448, and we held that. We held that just by a smidge, and now we've got bulls working back up. So when we zoom into the daily, we can see a nice clear pattern here of the daily inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, and bulls are hoping that this is a right shoulder starting to form here to look to confirm that, get our 3-day higher low set, and then if that happens, all sights will be on 62.7K. If we break that, that is a 3-day uptrend confirming and weekly inside bars breaking bull to officially get a weekly bounce underway. So got to talk about something though. So that's good, right? Bulls prices going up, that's good. That's what they want to see. Yes, but we do have to be cautious of the potential for a lower high compared to 70.1K on the weekly time frame. Unless we see increasing bull volume, that would be the most likely scenario. So lots of times when you get a move up this big and your trend change this late in the game, I'm just going to say the game, meaning the venture up to resistance. So we're up and over the golden pocket, which is the 618-265 retrace. And when you get a trend change after that, it's really not uncommon to see a quick lower high form from there. See a lack of follow through on that uptrend. So bulls can certainly be playing this daily inverse head and shoulders and look and say, okay, well, maybe we just V-shape to new highs. We know it's possible to V-shape to new highs, but in general, that's not the most likely scenario. So if you're looking to play this daily inverse head and shoulders, just have to keep that in mind, and how you would protect against something like that is take partial profits along the way. You say this confirms, you get the move up, you break 60.3K, then 61.8K. All right, inverse head and shoulders confirmed. You take some partial profits, you have your break even below the low, and you can say, all right, if bulls V-shape to new all-time highs on general market strength, then you've got some tickets to the show. If that doesn't happen, then you stop out and you lose nothing. So that's typically the way we want to be trying to position ourselves in trading. And there's ammo to look for the V-shape because we got the broad market doing it right now. So huge fear a couple weeks ago. Huge fear. VIX at 180% day. And we're looking at the S&P 500 futures here now, and we're within a stone's throw of all-time highs, just V-shaping the whole thing, less than 2%, and just a daily stair step from our daily trend change. So if the traditional markets stay strong, we know that generally bodes well for Bitcoin and can be some ammo to try for a daily higher low here compared to $56,078 on Bitcoin. If we lose this low, then we're looking at greater odds of a 3-day tightening range, or we'll see where we go before we lose it if we were to lose it. But you'd be losing the 0.5 retrace. We'd still be looking for a higher low compared to 49K, but the odds that bulls could pull back to say 53, 54, and then come back up and do that are decreased. That's not the most likely scenario. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Let's zoom into the 4-hour. So 4-hour bounce is underway right now. Anything below 60.3K going to be a 4-hour lower high. And we've already retraced more than 50% of this pullback. So that increases the odds that the daily higher low can form from here. So a swing trading bull looking for a daily higher low within the daily inverse head and shoulders to try for a 3-day higher low to get a 3-day trend change to get the weekly bounce underway could be looking for a 4-hour higher low here. And I know that might sound kind of silly to rattle it off like that, but that's typically what you want. You want a multifaceted thesis. You want a reason to be there, and you got to dream a little bit and know why you are there. So we're still going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high, and then bulls be looking for a 4-hour higher low compared to the low of this morning at 57,787. And if we can get that 4-hour trend change, then that's the daily higher low set. And all sights will be on the neckline in our inverse head and shoulders. So while we have an inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin that we're looking at, we're still watching the potential of a regular head and shoulders on Ethereum. We know we had our rising wedge on the 4-hour that broke bear. And now the next question for bears is, can they confirm a daily downtrend? Bitcoin got the daily downtrend, Ethereum did not. So it's all about this double bottom down here at 2509. If that breaks, then that's our 3-day lower high being set. And then bulls would be looking for a higher low compared to 2116. But if bulls can stay within a tightening range here and hold the double bottom, and then Bitcoin confirms its daily inverse head and shoulders, then bears will be hard pressed to make any ground on Ethereum, and we'll be hopeful that this is continuation of a weekly bounce. We'll still certainly be looking for a weekly lower high compared to 3563, but not formed yet. Not formed yet. All about that double bottom. So what Ethereum bulls want to see, if they want to step back into the limelight a little bit, is they need to see ETH BTC get over this daily EMA. They tried last week, but weren't able to keep price above that EMA, and now we're just kind of coming down, rejecting from it. So a bit of a daily EQ here, low, high, higher low. Bears trying to form a lower high there. And if this can break bull, getting over the daily 12 EMA, then that will be a weekly bounce getting underway, and we can anticipate that Ethereum will have relative strength in a bit more of a notable sense. We'll still be looking for a weekly lower high here, but just got to go one step at a time. And we can say that as long as price is firmly below daily 12 EMA, then Ethereum remains relatively weak compared to peers. So LTC finally topping out. It was just a daily stair step, 4-hour 12 EMA rider for quite some time. And once we lose that EMA, the traditional EMA rider reversal play comes into the cards, which is once you lose the EMA you've been riding, you fish the lower high, you look for the trend change down. Well, right now we have bulls trying to defend support, got a double bottom here at 66 clean. If bears can take that out, then they'll have a little more confidence in daily consolidation, but we'll certainly be looking for a higher low compared to 58.80. So the reason why LTC as a bear is of importance up here is because we're looking for a weekly lower high. Anything below 76.76 would be one, and we know that LTC BTC is testing weekly 12 EMA, which has been suppressing price for quite some time. So if we get another rejection from here, then that will be relative weakness coming into LTC USD. So that's what we got going on at the moment with the big three that we follow here. Let's check in on Sol, because Sol is getting tight. Double weekly inside bars and clear daily 12 EMA resistance. So similar to Bitcoin, didn't get a lot of follow through on the daily downtrend, and not similar to Bitcoin, we didn't actually get the daily lower high set. So we have daily 12 EMA resistance. Bulls need to get through 147.31 and 152.18 to try to shape up a 3-day higher low. And then the structure will be similar to Bitcoin. Bulls want to get the 3-day uptrend to get the weekly bounce underway, but again, cannot be bamboozled if we get a weekly lower high compared to 193.98. It's easy to get bullish when bulls are looking good, but we always got to ask ourselves, does my thesis corroborate and align with other time frame potentials? And there's some traders out there that are just waiting for this weekly lower high. Crypto bears, they're saying, I want a Bitcoin weekly lower high, I want a Sol weekly lower high, Litecoin, all these alts that are looking for weekly lower highs. And they might not be doing anything right now. So how that works is you just have a lot of different traders with different intentions in the market, and you can't ever really assume that any action that's going on is representative of all of the participants. Sometimes you need your bull signal to trigger in bears on a larger time frame. So just got to be aware of it. And again, that's the beauty of taking partial profits and putting yourself in a position where if things remain healthy, if we continue to melt up into the November election in the US and all markets stay strong and continue up, then we're probably looking for a monthly bull flag on Bitcoin. We're probably looking for a monthly bull flag on Sol, potential big old monthly cup and handle. So if you want tickets to that show, you can get positioned, get risk-free, and then if that happens, you're good to go. If it doesn't happen, you stop out and you lose very little. So as far as our watch list that we were talking about on the last stream, which I believe was Thursday, had very few names from the holding daily support list that ended up losing it and joining the other list. I think it was just 3. I think it was ZRX, Mana, and TIA. Everyone else is continuing to hold support over here. And one notable one is XRP, which during the live stream on Thursday, let's see if we can just find that. That was here. So during the live stream on Thursday, we had the big flush down. This is where Bitcoin broke support. And then we were able to say, due to the size of this bounce, XRP is showing clear relative strength, because while XRP is doing this, Bitcoin was just like diddly-dallying at the low there. So XRP did end up seeing one more lower low as Bitcoin continued to drill lower over the next hour and a half or so. But this little clue of 15 minutes, or I guess we could say a half hour of action, was the hint that, all right, XRP is worth paying attention to because it's relatively strong compared to peers. And here we have it up 6.5% when there's nothing too notable going on anywhere else. A little bit of a mixed bag, certainly more bullish than bearish, but 6.5%. It looks like our biggest gainer here on the day, at least on the watch list. So good example of how we can just get little clues, like looking at this chart where we're able to say, okay, XRP is the clear bull to be going for. To a degree, weren't many names that put up 20% days on the bounce, and consolidation stayed healthy. Bears were unable to confirm the downtrend. So we knew that, okay, well, XRP is still decent. We're looking for a 2-day higher low. It didn't even get 3-day consolidation underway. So there was some ammo for that. But again, it's nice to have multifaceted theses. So once you get that clue on the 15-minute time frame, that's when you can say, all right, I'm going to shift my focus to XRP. So now the big question is, are we going to get a lower high on the 2-day compared to 64.34 and tighten on up? Or is this going to be a very pointy cup and handle to try to work our way to the upper end of this just choppy sideways macro range? We don't really have a lot of macro context to be working off of. So when that's the case, I tend to, let me zoom out a little bit. I tend to box it off. So let's get a sensible box here. We'll just start with that. We'll zoom in, see what's popping out, what's staying below. I think that's a fine box to be working with. So we got a choppy range. I have a bear bias at the upper end of the range, bull bias at the lower end of the range, and then anything in between, I'm just leaning on the smaller time frames. So that's going to be the case with XRP here. We do have a daily uptrend now, and we'll just say key support is going to be 54.52 for bulls to keep pressure on bears and keep working towards the upper end of the box. So who stinks? Link stinks. So decent move off the lows, but just relatively weak. Relatively weak, clear daily 12 EMA resistance, and we know that Link won't always stink, but it's got to get over a daily 12 EMA if it wants to come to life. And 1084 going to be our last resistance in the sideways tightening range. If we get above that, that's a weekly bounce getting underway, and then we'll be looking for a weekly lower high compared to 1520. All right, let's just see what y'all are looking at. Rachel, what up? What up? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see, how is AVAX looking for VEX? XOXX. AVAX. So AVAX, let's just start really zoomed out on this thing. So we're looking for a quarterly higher low. Anything over 861 going to be one. Looking at the monthly, we're just stair-stepping down. We have got a weekly, not technically a downtrend, but lots of room for a weekly lower high. And AVAX is in the category, like many coins, double weekly inside bars, trying to get a weekly bounce underway, where then anything under 32.95 would be a lower high. So zooming into the daily, pretty similar to Link here, clear daily 12 EMA resistance. So it's nice, you know, yeah, it's not one of the more impressive bouncers, but we have a lot of clarity here with it. And most of the time, as an active trader, if you're a technically based active trader, you care so much more about clarity than you care about anything else. So I know some folks have fundamental reasons for being in certain coins over others, and honestly, in the shorter term, it can make the job more difficult because you have a bias that you're working off of. If you're like a big picture fundamental person and you're saying, I don't care what's going on now, I'm looking to 2030 for these things to print, then you're not looking at the daily time frame anyways. But yeah, just all about daily 12 EMA resistance. So we got 2151, 2187, and then 2280. Got to get up and over all those to get a weekly bounce underway. And then if we're talking quarterly higher low shaping up, we need to see a weekly bounce big enough to create room for a higher low and then confirm a weekly uptrend as step one of shaping up a quarterly higher low. That'd be a monthly bounce getting underway with confidence, and then we'd be looking for a monthly lower high. Anything under 65.39 would be one. So once you lose structure like this, it takes a while to regain it, and you just got to go step by step by step. So step one right now is can bulls get a weekly bounce underway. What up, Les? It is quiet in chat here today. Not many viewers as well. Must have hit a soft spot. Everybody's out doing stuff, or everybody's just watching the broad market continue to V-shape up. Let's see. We'll look at INJ. INJ USDT. So INJ, we know we got a monthly downtrend, but we are looking for a quarterly higher low. We're testing that EMA now, and it is similar to many other names in that we're looking to get, in this case, weekly bounce follow through. The weekly bounce is underway with the break of the high of the August 5th weekly candle, but bulls need some more follow through to be confident that they can try for a weekly uptrend. We need a weekly uptrend. Haven't had a weekly uptrend since the highs, and that's got to shift if we want to see bulls regain any control. Bigger picture, try to shape up that quarterly higher low. So little funky on the daily. You could say, well, let's look at like the 12-hour for it. You could say this is a haphazard 12-hour head and shoulders, kind of like what Ethereum's doing, but I really don't. Some folks will be fine calling something a head and shoulders with a downward slanted neckline. I'm not one of them. I mean, if we want to try to group the pattern with something that we can see visually and kind of categorize it, then fine, I suppose. But the thing that makes me not part of the right slanted head and shoulders crew is because this is a bullish sign. When you break support and then you bounce, that's bullish. So if you're talking a bearish pattern that has a bullish undertone, it's just not that clear. It doesn't mean it can't play out, but like I was saying earlier, for me, it's all about clarity. I just want clarity. I don't care what I'm trading. And when you have something like this, it kind of gives you conflicting signals a little bit. So if I got conflicting signals, I often just won't trade it. So if bulls want to see weekly bounce follow through, step one is going to be breaking through 1879. Then we're talking 1993 ultimately needs to break. And then we'll still be looking for a weekly lower high compared to 2811. And let's see if we could get a bit of a falling wedge shaping up if we were to break bare below 1728 without follow through. You'll go, let me find a time frame. I guess the 12-hour probably suffices. So if we were to come down here, which we have relative strength or relative weakness here today. So if Bitcoin sees 4-hour consolidation, INJ bears are positioned well to take out support here. But knowing that we're lacking follow through on the lower lows, it would have us looking out for something like that. It would have us looking out for something like that. So it's good to have a little bit of imagination. It's the same thing that allowed us to map out that ETH 4-hour rising wedge the day before CPI. Little bit of imagination. So if we were to break that support, not see follow through, we'd be more confident in the falling wedge, because at this point it's only happened once. You really need to see it twice to have a decent bit of confidence in that. And that would be bulls trying to shape up a 3-day higher low, trying for a 3-day uptrend to get some more weekly bounce follow through. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's see. Rachel Rhodes liking gold. Liking gold, is that Gold Barracks Corporation? I'm guessing you're probably, well, maybe you're talking about this because it's doing pretty well. I don't know if you're talking about gold itself, the metal, or this Gold Barrack Corporation, one of the miners coming up into resistance here, ultimately range bound. So that's kind of where our box concept comes back in. No, I already have it drawn on there. Kind of tough to get too bullish when you're up right near resistance. So, I mean, that's the miner, but if we're talking gold futures, spot gold, there's a lot to like. Blue skies, riding weekly 12 EMA, daily cup and handle confirmed, riding daily 12 EMA, bulls trying to hold 4-hour 12 EMA, just EMA riders all the time. And, in general, the commodities space, they trend further than people anticipate, and they balance longer than people anticipate. And that's also characteristic common in crypto. And it's no coincidence that my two favorite sectors are crypto and commodities, because they trade very similarly, to be honest. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on in the metal space, and we finally have silver, copper, platinum joining the show. You want to see the whole gang going, miners and our other major metals, and everybody's joining. So it's a good look, but got to be cautious. Looking at GDX just in terms of the miners, got this uptrend resistance line. So I know y'all here to talk about crypto, not commodities, but you're also probably interested in charts, so hopefully you don't mind. All right. What up, Ryan? Glad you're here. James, would appreciate your opinion on WIF USD and its fully formed daily head and shoulders. Thanks. Let's take a look. Dog with hat. Am I looking at the right thing here? WIF USD. Fully formed daily head and shoulders. Let me see if it's different on something else. Yeah, I'm not seeing a head and shoulders here. I'm not seeing a head and shoulders. Basically, so this is kind of down to, perhaps you're speaking about this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That kind of ties into the whole concept I was just talking about with the right slanted down head and shoulders, and also kind of brings in another thing that it's typically a reversal pattern, not a continuation pattern. So as far as WIF though, let's just break it down. So trying to get a weekly bounce underway, definitely struggling, breaking the lows of last week. If bulls do get a weekly bounce underway, anything under 289.5 going to be a lower high, and ultimately we got a 3-day lower high set, and bulls are looking for a higher low compared to 107, but struggling to get it set. We got a 3-day stair step to be watching. Little maybe 12-hour downtrend's the clearest for this. Yeah, we'll work with the 12-hour downtrend. So bulls are likely to see this bear break without follow through. We've been relatively weak for over a week at this point. And essentially, anytime you break support without follow through, you know that bears are exhausting. So that's bulls playing defense, but they got to get on offense if you're going to make money as a bull. So essentially, you break support, no follow through, right into a bounce. If bulls can see a little more follow through, we'd be looking for like a 12-hour inverse head and shoulders to try and shape up a more legitimate daily bounce, try to make a move up to this daily 12 EMA, and then you just got to regain trends one by one. So we'll need a daily uptrend confirmed, 3-day uptrend confirmed, and then eventually weekly uptrend confirmed if we're going to say, all right, bulls are defending all-time lows on this Binance coin. So let's look at our other memes. Yeah, so everybody's kind of just doing the same thing. WIF is definitely among the weaker. Bonk actually is the weakest of the bunch. But yeah, memes not doing great. They had very nice initial moves off the low. Like WIF, I mean, this was beastly. One of our stronger bouncers, 82%, but bleeding it all back. And at this point, if we do form a 3-day higher low, which is still very much so the most likely scenario, we'd be anticipating a 3-day equilibrium from here that would need to break bull to get a weekly bounce underway. All right. Let's see what we got from MATIC. So MATIC trying to do things very close to 3-day uptrend confirming to get a weekly bounce underway, but let's start zoomed out. We know we broke our quarterly EQ to the downside. We have bulls trying to defend the lowest levels at 31.60. Current lows of the pullback, 33.42. So not uncommon to see a bear break of an EQ and not break all levels. So bulls are pleased with the fact that we haven't done that, but a lot of work to be done. We're going to have a ton of room for a monthly lower high, and right now we're just looking at the weekly. We got a weekly downtrend, not even quite getting to weekly 12 EMA, but we have relative strength here now for the first time in a good while, because MATIC BTC, after it broke its quarterly EQ to the downside and saw follow through, it's been a stinker. It's been a stinker for a long time at this point. So MATIC BTC, I think it's 3-day 12 EMA this is riding. Yeah. So MATIC BTC needs to get over 3-day 12 EMA for us to have interest in MATIC for anything other than like a shorter duration trade. Just like LTC, one of our better bouncers over the last week and a half, but we know it's likely to be short-lived as long as the ratio chart remains weak. MATIC doing well right now as the ratio chart tries to bottom out, but if we go up and just reject from 3-day 12 EMA, then the show goes on in terms of relative weakness. So for MATIC itself, it's going to just be a similar structure to everything else. We've got, this actually is kind of similar to what INJ bulls would want to see, of the lower low not seeing follow through and then get on some offense. So room for a daily higher low compared to 39.21 next consolidation, and key resistance going to be 43.78 to try to get that weekly bounce underway on the USD pairing. Let's see if we have anything better to look at. 4-hour uptrend, 4-hour 12 EMA support is a guide for the daily. I mean, you'll see that often, but sometimes it's nice and clean like this, sometimes it's not. All right. Yeah, Ryan, I don't know what's up with if it's a Slack thing or a YouTube thing, but it hasn't generated the thumbnail the last 2 times. I'm gonna have to fiddle around with that, see if we can't get it to be a little clearer in there. Let's see, Rachel's got a personal story. My grandmother had Hewlett-Packard stock in the 1990s. She made money on that stock, helped her in her elder years. I just bought some recently. Very nice. Yeah, it's always a treat to talk to someone who is older and they're like, yeah, I got stock from 30 years ago, 50 years ago. It's up thousands and thousands of %. One of those things that, like, if you're involved in the markets, Dan definitely pumps it more than I do, of the importance of having like an IRA or a tax-free account where you can just start to build these positions and see if you might be able to hold them forever. So, all right, you were talking about gold barracks. So gold barracks is relatively weak compared to peers, but I would assume by today's action, it's gaining strength. So what you want to do when looking at that is you do gold barracks over GDX, the general miners, and we can see, yes, we do have some relative strength. So we've been relatively weak. Let's start way zoomed out. We've been relatively weak for a while. And then you get this tightening range, weekly 12 EMA, and then last week we got the bull break. So gold barracks is back on the menu for now, but can't forget that we're going to be looking for a monthly lower high. So these ratios, I can't beat the drum hard enough on how valuable and important they are, because they just tell you where to be focusing. And when you have these sectors with a bunch of different names with varying relative strength and weakness, that's like part of the game, the rotation game. It's how the markets work. It's how the S&P 500 is able to just go up forever. And these ratio charts allow you to quantify this rotation. So yeah, gold barracks doing well on the menu right now. Let's see. Our marketing guy, Rav, is reminding me we got free trials going on. I'm actually glad you brought it up. I tweeted about it, but was gonna forget. So we're running free trials in the chart, guys, right now. It is read only. Let me pull up our page for it. So it's a 2-week free trial. It's read only. So you can't type, but you can read everything, see everything, watch all of the live streams. And if you go to this site, chartguys.com/membership trial, you can sign on up. We only got 50 slots. We're metering it out. So get there to get yours. I'll drop the link in chat here. But it's a cool place. It's a cool place. So I know I've showed it plenty of times before on the stream, but for anybody who hasn't seen it, we've got all the different rooms for whatever you're interested in: commodities, crypto, general chats, just where people are talking about mainly stocks. That's where most of the action's going on during the day. Obviously, MJ sector, and then that's kind of like the fun parts of it. But then we have our, or that's actually up here too, our trade review channels. Where is it? So a huge part of trading is reviewing your trades, looking to improve, do all that. So we have that. We've got a mindset channel where we know psychology is a huge part of the game, so we're working on that. We've got live streams every day. We've got huddles. We've got a full-time trader channel, and they're not like gatekeeping it. Anybody can come in there and join and learn, but it's a place for the people that are doing this full-time, because that's a different psychological standpoint. But twice a week we have huddles in here. So this is Friday at close, and folks were in here for 5 hours talking charts. There's nothing relatable about trading and doing technical analysis to anybody who is not a trader or technical analyst. So it's nice to have a community. If you haven't thought about it, you don't have to think too hard now, because you can do a free trial, and once those fill up, those are going to have to run through and before we consider doing some more. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat right now, and hope to see you guys. Hope to see you guys in the room. And if you like the trial, obviously you can ratchet that up to the regular one, where you can be typing and sharing your messages, sharing your trades, asking questions. That's the other thing here that we've got. We've got the beginner questions channel, and don't let the beginner element make you shy away. You say, I've been doing this for 3 years, I'm not a beginner. It's just a questions channel. You can ask anything under the sun, and whether it's a team member that comes in and helps you, or just regular old people. And that's the beauty of community. Lori adding some RAM to her computer. She's got some computer nerds that come in here and help her out. It's just a great place. And then of course we do have our community where we're talking about non-market related stuff, sharing memes, doing this and that. We keep the memes out of the other channels, because it's all business. We're here to make money. We're not here to share our memes. But who doesn't love memes? So we got a place to do it. So yeah, check it out if you are interested. Dan K, thank you, sir. Let's see, Vex. Do you ever use any tools like the liquidation map from CoinGlass to help get clarity when big moves might take place? I do not personally. Let's see, Rachel's got a stop at 34 on gold barracks. Let's see where that is at. Yeah, I don't know how that's working. I got us at 2017 as current price. Got us at 2017. Nice though. Glad you're taking profits. If you're taking profits and walking up a stop, you can't go wrong. All right, though, gang, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sharing some of your afternoon with me. Let's see if Bitcoin can confirm a 4-hour uptrend to get that daily higher low set in the daily head and shoulders, to get the 3-day higher low set, to get the weekly bounce underway, without forgetting that a weekly lower high compared to 70.1K would not be shocking. That's the game right now. We'll see what we get. Oh, Hewlett Packard, you're walking the stop on. Nice. That makes more sense. All right, adios. I will see you all Thursday. Hope everybody has a good week. We'll see what we get. Keep eyes on the broad market. Bulls obviously in full control there, and we want to see that for crypto. But if we were to see weakness come into the broad market in any notable sense, which there's no sign of at the moment as we continue to see rotation there, then we'd need to adjust our expectations in crypto a little bit. All right, for maybe the 3rd or 4th time, I'm out of here. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like if you haven't. Thank you. Bye.